Welcome back. This is Danny Howell with Southeast Chevy. My son convinced me some time ago that we needed to begin to put down on video some of the questions that I get asked and the answers that I can provide. So, welcome aboard today. We hope that this information will be helpful to you. Just in case you don't catch it all, my son will upload later one of the tech articles written by Denny Williams, who wrote the book How to Restore Your 57 Chevy about 35 years ago. He did a lot of excellent tech articles, and one of them was on wheels, and we'll make that available so you can have that printed out and take it with you when you're looking for certain wheels. Welcome to Southeast Chevy. As you can see, we have quite a number of wheels here, but I'd like to show you something if you'll come with me. I have here on the ground 3 different wheels. One's a 1957, the second is a 1958, and the third is a 1959 to 61. For all practical purposes, all 3 of these wheels are identical for practical purposes. All 3 of these wheels have what make them unique. They have these funny little nubs, 4 of them on each of the wheels, 12, 6, 3, and 9. Those are to hold the wheel covers on. We'll come back to that in a few moments. I've been asked many times over the years, people call me up and they say, hey, I just put a wheel cover, a new one that I just put on my 58, and I was driving down the road, and all of a sudden I realized my wheel cover was going faster than I was. Well, that's generally due to the fact that you have the wrong wheel. So I thought it was important to bring that to your attention. If you notice these wheels, I will explain the difference between the 3 years. Again, all 3 of them are almost identical. The offsets, the drop downs, the pattern, everything except for this one thing. On this wheel, the 57, you'll notice that there is no opening. It's a solid weld or spot all the way around the ring of the center and the outer ring. If you move to 1958, you will see there is a very thin slot in 4 locations. Now, I've never found anything original in the GM literature that explained why, but I do believe that happened because the engineers realized that the brakes were getting too hot in 57 and they needed to cool them more. And so they added some small slots to assist the airflow, but it wasn't nearly enough. So by 1959, they really got smart, and they utilized a large opening. I have a small hand, but you can see I can actually stick all 4 of my fingers part of the way through. That allowed the wheels to keep with the openings, allowed the brake drums to keep from getting too hot. The reason often why original wheel covers will not stay on a car is because people have the wrong wheels. And let me explain why that's important. I have in my hands, first of all, this 1957 wheel cover. And if you see up close, you'll see this outer solid ring. This ring is designed, some little slots in it, so that it can expand ever so slightly, and this ring is designed to snap over the 4 nubs that I just showed you. Well, if you happen to have a non-original wheel, you put this wheel cover on it, it will not stay. But what happened was the aftermarket people back in the early 50s, the mid-50s to late 50s, realized they could sell wheel covers because they were very popular. This, for example, is a 1959 wheel cover, and for all intents and purposes, it looks absolutely identical and original. However, if I turn this wheel cover on the edge, you will see these funny little grippers. This wheel cover was designed to fit not just a 57 to 61. This wheel cover would actually fit on later 14-inch wheels because these grippers were designed to grip the actual steel rather than snapping over the little nubs. I could spend a lot of time with you telling you about the differences in many of the other wheels. They're a little bit cumbersome to tell some of the differences. For example, the 1962 wheel looks an awful lot like the 59 wheel. The drop down is about the same, but there are lots of other fine nuances and differences. We'll let you take a look at that in the tech articles. If you have any questions on wheels, feel free to call me at any time at 407-886-1963. I'll be glad to help you find the original wheels that you need so that you can drive that beautiful Chevy of yours with joy and originality.